So let's flip that to another page. Like people, like you, I love when a star or somebody comes up and talks about like their father and their parents and how hard they work and what they fought through and everything like that. And I always say like anybody that owns a business or like tries to be successful, or even the people that lie in interviews. This is the funniest thing, right? When people go in interviews and they want to lie, first thing they say is like, yeah, so like I'm here to work because I have these dreams and these aspirations, and when I work here, I'm going to grow in this company, I'm going to get this money, and I'm going to take that money and I'm going to put it into my dreams and my goals and my aspirations, and I'm going to grow them. And the company will be like, yes, he got aspirations, he's goal oriented, he's going to work for us, this is going to work perfect, and they get the job, right? And they try to do that, right? And you look at that person like, man, he's on his shit. I like that guy, man. He's a workaholic. So why do we have those same expectations for our regular day-to-day neighbors, friends, people we see at the cafe, but we don't have that same expectations for the millionaires? Like, look, you've been in this league for how long? Money, 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 buddy, buddy, buddy. So it's time to like, not saying like abruptly jump off the board and say, yeah, I'm done. I'm not playing no more. I'm starting my own league. But you got to start putting in your resignation, because at this point now you're just training your kids to go back into slavery, right? Sometimes you got to understand what you're in. Look, let's say you make 140 million. If you're making 140 million, they're making $1 billion easily off you, and that's probably every year. So if they're doing that, if it's that simple to make that much money off you, and then they got you breeding your kids to do the same thing, coming in, where's the growth at in your community? It's only point zero 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 point one of the population that's really even seeing the fruits of all of this labor that in a league that's controlled 70% of one race. Like, if the league was all white, nobody's complaining about basketball, because it's all white people controlling all white people, and the money's going back to all white people. Like, nobody's saying all the money in the NBA go back to a whole black community, because there's no black community. Like, there's people that live in the community, but there's no black community. We don't own those communities, so you're just building up your own neighborhoods anyway. All I'm saying is that black people, you can't say we about to move to the middle of Kansas and build new metropolitans in the middle of Kansas, because first of all, we don't want to live in rural areas, because for safety first. Let's be honest about that. We're only 13%. America's spread out. We can't be stuck in the middle of the woods somewhere. Safety first, and we like city life. City life, we like being on the outskirts of the city for our suburbs, and we living good. We moved up like the Jeffersons, and we like being in the middle of the city because everything is accessible and we feel safe. There's more people around, right? So that's a reality, because that's how this country has been built, on your safety. You don't want to be hung in a tree and the police write a false report talking about it was a suicide, right? So you want to be realistic about like how we want to protect ourselves too as well, and how we want to fund ourselves. So right now there's nothing to really fund. You have to build something to have it fund. But you have school systems, you have black-owned businesses that you can fund, and that money can be funneled back into the community as well. So there is room to fund, but we still have to build a platform. So now the second thing you have to focus on is why time. Why do people put a timestamp when black people say, hey, we're about to do something? So the whole time, for example, we're going to go back to the Jordan theory. Like, people are talking about timestamps. Kobe Bryant played 20 years of basketball for LA. I get billionaire, millions and millions of dollars every year for LA, one of the most populated cities in America, right? It's not like he was stuck in the middle of Iowa playing basketball and nobody saw him. He generated so much money for that long of a duration of time. And every one of those years, there was somebody in the media talking about, why would we want to own our own league? We getting paid $2 million. The next year, we getting paid $5 million. Next year, we getting paid $20 million. Now it's $40 million, right? Why would you turn down $40 million for? So you don't look back, but the whole time you look back now, it's been 30 years and you're still saying the same thing. You never made a plan forward.
But when you said, let's form our own league to compete against, they're like, nah, bro, you missed me with that one. I'm not finna give up $40 million.
Yeah.
And then how long, so how long do they think they can get a league running? How long is it gonna take them to get a league up and running?
It is so
And where they gonna play?
complicated. It's just too complicated.
So you think these owners gonna let you use their arena to compete against them, Skip?
unless you sort of go with that big three concept of barnstorming, you know, like just take your stars and you go play each other at arenas around the country.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have a championship, really. You don't have records.
Steph Curry makes $40 million. James Harden makes 38. LeBron makes 37 million. You think they're going to give that up to go on a tour? A Harlem Globetrotter-like tour?
Yeah, and do you want the headaches of buying insurance and hiring and firing employees? Have to put these on? No, you don't.
No, that sounds, Skip, that's what people happens. People get upset. Well, I'll just start my own thing.
Yeah.
It's not as easy. If it was just so easy to start a business, there'd be like, and that's why so many fail.
Yeah.
Because they don't really think this thing through.
I agree.
Starting and continuing a business is not easy.
Yep.
These are things that have been going on for decades, if not more. Some would say centuries, obviously, when we're talking about racial oppression. So if that's the case, then there was no reason for anybody, whether it's your forefathers, your ancestors, or anybody in between, to ever show up to work. The reality is that you have a job to do. If you
Saying it's like, look, y'all got money now. Right? And I'm not talking about the people who are trying to get in. This is not it. Look, y'all got money now. Right? You already got these kids in your camps. You already got them wearing your logos. They already recognize you. People switch team by players now. The NCAA right now is going down. The NCAA is over. It's canceled. We're about to cancel the NCAA. NCAA is almost canceled because they're exploiting kids, and it's blatantly obvious they're exploiting kids with the whole idea to build up their college universities that half of these athletes not going to even finish their degree from. So they're just going there for a year and a half and then go into the league. Sometimes some people money fizzle out, and then now they're in the street in the regular economy. So what are we talking about? They're exploiting kids and not training them properly how to grow, learn, get the degree, and actually use that money that they're actually going to get in the future. So that's going to be gone. Why don't these players right now own that? Right? You already have these camps. Start your own league. You don't need 20 teams. Make 8 teams. Each make 6 teams. Each player. Kyrie got his own league. LeBron got his own league. Carmelo got his league. Chris Paul got his league. And y'all have a big March Madness when y'all want to. And treat it like a circus. I introduced the LeBron tax in a podcast that I did with Barbershop on Sports Talk. And the whole LeBron tax is, hey, look, LeBron James was at a point where the demand for LeBron was greater than the control for LeBron. So he could have done anything he wanted at that point. And I'm just saying that if LeBron James steps somewhere, he's a walking 30,000 people if he markets it right with his own money. So if he can do that for your business and give you over 50% profit, I'm pretty sure you can give that man a slice, because that's all we're doing with stadiums anyway. Look at the stadiums now. We're all in quarantine. Nobody's talking about how the Dallas Cowboys stadiums got cobwebs all over the place. All the $1 million equipment in there, nobody's using it, because it's not about that building. It's about the players. It's not even about the team on your shirt. That's the facade that they give you. That's to entertain people's kids for free. When you take your kids to the babysitter, you pay for that. You pay for the babysitter. Why don't we use that same logic when it comes to these superstars? They're getting paid kibbles and bits compared to what they're making. Not only for the team, but for all the businesses around when they play. So we have to have a realistic approach. And not saying that every player can generate that. Every player can't. But there's a point where there's growth. There's a point where you get some people who are, we don't get to pick our heroes. So there's some people who generally fall into that subject. And when they do, you have a pocket and a window to maximize that, right? So the idea right now, you can stop a person from doing something, but you can't stop an idea. All I'm saying right now is we start moving forward. Start planning for your own league. These kids are coming out of high school early anyway. You already have AAU leagues. Just make it one more age bracket. It already goes to 18U. Why don't we just go to 21U? Or let's go to 25U, or just say no U. And now we playing soccer. But at the end of the day, you slowly control that and you make sure that money goes back. But at the same time, you're still within your contract and you're still playing, because there's nothing fizzling the NBA brand.